Yeah.
Nice. All right, well, it's 9:40, so we can get started. Hello and welcome to everyone who's joined us. We've got Erin Hine and Jill McNutt, our art therapists. They're our illustrious art therapy team locally here in southeastern Wisconsin. I wanted to say that art therapy has been a part of Aurora St. Luke's Medical Center since 2000. The team provides art therapy services within 7 Wisconsin locations, and art therapy is a mental health and wellness field that uses creative expression and art making to help people live their best lives. So we're going to talk about using this interactive process to help build and strengthen resiliency. And I'll turn it over to you two, Jill and Erin. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having us, Rachel. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Jill. It's fine.
We're very happy to be here and to share some of our work and the ways that you can also interact with clients using the art processes. Erin and I are half of a team. There are 2 other art therapists that you might meet along the road. They're Jenna and Lori. But without any further hesitation, we want to introduce you a little bit to what art therapy is and how it works, and then we'll move right into a special art process.
So art therapy itself, as defined by the American Art Therapy Association, is that art therapy is an integrative mental tool that works within the mental health and the health in the human services profession and enriches the lives of individuals, families, and communities through active art making and creative processing while using applied psychological theory and human experience within the psychotherapeutic relationship. So what that all means is we get the individuals that are involved in it really involved into the art making, make them really focus on what they're doing, process through the thoughts that they may be having. And while they're working and while they're looking at their piece afterwards, we use a lot of psychological theory as well as the human experience to really build that relationship between the creator of the artwork and the artwork itself, to really help build that relationship to learn as much as they can from it.
So one of my favorite responses was from a client in Racine, who said that doing art therapy today gave me a very positive distraction and a tool in my self-care toolbox to help me through a high-stress time in which I needed to redirect my thoughts, feelings, and actions to get me into a healthier spot mentally, emotionally, and physically. And we'll see on the next slide how the work of art therapy has really impacted patients across the scope, patients and family members that we work with mostly. And this is just a list of us. This is the art therapy team in southwestern or southeastern Wisconsin.
So the key areas that we talk about for being the benefits of art therapy are really our 4 main areas of work, which is building hope, strength, and resilience, mindfulness and interactive distraction, introspection and self-learning, and transformation and re-narrative of life stories. And these are all themes that Jill found when she was working on her dissertation for her doctorate degree. What we mean by these things are, for building hope and strength, is a lot of the patients use this to help rebuild that hope towards the future, towards their goals, things like that. The mindfulness and interactive distraction is a way to stop cycling thoughts that may be going on in their heads, where they keep focusing on this one thought of either the pain or the unsureness, the anxiety, any of those things. The interactive distraction really helps stop that cycle and refocus their energy on something creative, which helps them kind of build something versus just running around in their mind. Introspection and self-learning is really the parts where they learn a lot more about themselves and who they are, how they process things, how they think about different things. And when someone is able to learn, this is how I think about this is how I respond to situations and react, they kind of understand some of their behaviors a little bit better, and then they can refigure out how to behave in a different way so as to cause less stressors in their life. And with transformation and re-narrating the life story, this is really the part where they can take their self-identity and go from I am a cancer patient to I am me. I have a cancer diagnosis or had, whatever the situation may be. And it becomes a lot more of I am me versus I am a patient, and having that patient part just be a little part of who they are versus all of their self-identity. So it really helps them build up that self-narrative and self-identity to be more of who they are, and kind of more of a creative thought process, which when a person is able to think more creatively, they can come up with more out-of-the-box solutions to problems and have more success with problem solving. For the patients who are hospitalized or in the infusion clinics, they tend to work a lot more on the first two themes, the building hope or the interactive distraction. And then the patients that we see in outpatient, usually like in our group settings for our open studios, that is usually where you find a lot more of the introspection and transformational art therapy as well.
So these are just some stats over the last 3 years, not including 2020. COVID would have messed us up a little bit then. But you can see this is the art therapy, the distress thermometer, which is ranked from 1 to 10, 10 being the most severe stress on the left, and on the right, 0 being the least distress. And the blue line is pre-art therapy intervention, and the green line is post. So through this scale, you can see that the most distress had reductions all the way across the board. And when you get around to number 3, which is really 1, 2, and 3 are the lowest on the stress scales, then we'll see that increase happen. So the blue line is pre, and their distress reduced for the 1s, 2, 3s, and no distress. So this is our claim to fame data. All right, so are we ready for a process? So we asked everyone to collect some magazines, scissors, and glue sticks. These are some of the easiest tools to work with, and they really help to do some self-identifying. So what we're going to do today is make a strength card. And in order to start with a strength card, we want to have a topic. Now, everyone can have their own topic, or we can work on one collectively. I might recommend, if we want to do one collectively, that we do something like self-care, because caring for ourselves is paramount in caring for anyone else, right? So in order to start the process, what you want to do is casually look through your magazine with the intention of self-care, and pull out 3, maybe 4 images that reflect that self-care, and then just tear them out of the magazine. I like to share with people as they're making this process is an image can catch your attention for multiple reasons. And sometimes we tend to judge that reason. However, if you stop and really reflect on the image that's caught your attention, it has lots of messages to send. So don't hesitate if it catches you in what you would feel is a negative way, to still pull out the image, because it still has a lot of value to share. Now, when I work with clients, I typically don't have them pick up their base until after they've looked at how the pictures form together. Erin, I'm not sure if you do it the same way or not, but when I give people the base first and then have them look at their pictures, what I end up with is a white piece of paper or a white card with a dot of this picture and a dot of this picture and a dot of this picture, and they really don't interact together. But working with the images like a puzzle really helps to make those connections. So if I have them make the connections first, then on the paper, it's not quite so spotty. I'm not sure how many of you are experiencing that quiet sensation that comes about when you're engaged in the creative process. But there's a recent study out of Drexel University that shows that 45 minutes of endured art making and engaged in the creative process reduces our cortisol and stress levels significantly. Now, as far as surfaces go for applying the images, my favorite is just a simple playing card because it's the perfect size. It's the size of a credit card or an ID. It fits into a person's wallet. So when we do the card with a positive intention, like power or strength or self-care, and they keep it in their wallet, every time you open your wallet, you come back and you look and you say, oh yeah, I have that power. It's a real nice memory. But there are accommodations. I have huge playing cards too. You can see the difference in size. And also, I typically carry plain white paper as well because sometimes people don't like having a surface to work on top of. It becomes a sensory issue from time to time. So another part of the creative process involves sharing. Because of course, what's the value of art if it's not shared with another person? Although there are times when art is very private as well. So I would like to open it up and allow some sharing of things that are going with the process, with what kind of images you're finding, with what kind of a topic that you used, and sharing the image proper.
I can share mine first, kind of get that ball rolling. The images that I found that really jumped out to me today was this wall of old crutches, a person dancing in the rain, someone doing a little bit of an acrobatic type thing in the middle of the street, and then this window came up. And it wasn't until I was putting them all together that I realized that this is actually a very strong depiction of one of my all-time favorite songs called The Next Storm by Frank Turner. And the whole song is about, you know, we've all been through this really big trauma and we've gone through this chaotic, crazy storm. And now rather than wait for the next storm to come, I'm going to enjoy what I can right now. And there's lines in it about casting off your crutches and dancing in the rain and going out and enjoying the sunshine again. So it really spoke to me quite a bit.
Let me see if I can. So I don't have any magazines at my house. And so I found an old children's book that was sitting in a box that probably would not have been used otherwise. And so I tried to focus on the 4 things that really energize me. I mean, I recognize that I'm really introverted, so time in my chair reading is important to me. Time with my son, even though it's not an introverted activity, is really rejuvenating as well. Time for adventure, the little boy in his boat. And then just simpler times, being outside, being outdoors. That's
So playful too. Playful is one of the best parts of self-care for me. I've got the family. Oh, did I cut somebody off?
I was just going to say, I love the creative problem solving when you didn't have magazines and found something else to use.
I've got mine. I use self-care, or I use, self-care as my topic. And I've also got the play there around the bottom. Got the family in the water with the beach ball. Water I always find very cleansing too. And then I've got prayer, my religion, and my faith, of course, but that's me. And then I kept the 1987 version of COVID-19 protection shield there, just to remind me to keep myself clear of viruses.
I don't know if you guys can see it, but I have no magazines in my house. I am a fellow, a geriatric fellow by that. Anyway, yeah, my life has totally changed in the last 2 months. I kind of lost control of my time. But this is kind of self-care, something to remind me of things that I need to remember to do. I do like to bike, and I'm near the Hank Aaron Trail, so I can do that on weekends, hopefully. I am a coffee drinker, so there's some coffee here. And I like to use words when I do things like this. So balance is a good word for me right now. And, you know, I'm looking forward to the fall here in Milwaukee. So there, and remember to listen to some music while I try to relax and lounge a little bit. And, oh, just some apples. So this I'll keep in my wallet. So thank you for this. I appreciate it.
I know very few of you, but this is my favorite. I'm, by the way, Tim Polly, Vice President of Hospital-Based Specialties in Palliative Care in Wisconsin and Illinois. I happen to have one of the services specialties, and I thoroughly enjoy this journey that I'm having, learning more about palliative care. So I appreciate the opportunity to participate. And those of you that do know me won't believe this, but I'm kind of an introvert. But being an introvert, I also kind of don't follow rules sometimes. So I'll share with you what I did. I don't have magazines as well, so I'll share with you this card that I can't carry with me. And I don't know if you can see this, but it's rather large. But I enjoy being outside. I can't get the angle right. Anyway, what I did was I look out over the park, and so I drew the trees and also drew a bicycle lane. So I love to ride as well. Because I'm staring outside and it's pretty, there's sun, and I drew a smile because I really enjoy looking at my wife's smile. And those are the 4 things that I kind of connect with on a daily basis. So just thought I'd share that I'm going to do something I don't normally do, which is shut up. And just thanks again for letting me participate.
I love all the creative problem solving with everyone of, if you don't have the materials, finding a new way to do it. Art is all about adapting what it is and bringing it into a way that works best for you as a person. So I love how everyone's able to individualize it.
This is a little bigger than I put in my wallet. I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's like a sunset outdoor sort of serene advertisement that I got rid of the advertisement. And then I found some nice words that I invited to the table and glued in the chairs.
That's perfect.
Sort of metaphor there. But it says in the corner, it says, "How are you?" I found this little advertisement for like a mindfulness app. So we've got the "How are you?" and then the "Breathe," which is a reminder. And then the words that I could find in the short time we had to put in the chairs include peace, music, love, care, magical. And then I just threw up in the trees, kind of lurking in the corner, mindfulness. Like that's sort of the overarching aim, but focusing on one of these other small little things might still be very lovely and serene. And sometimes the days in the hospital get hectic, so it's nice to have this little reminder. And so maybe I'll put it near my computer.
I do want to take this moment to thank you all for coming, because interest in the arts means everything in the world to me. My life is all about the art, and I think Erin's is too. And it's one of, it makes my life complete being able to share it across the hospitals with caregivers, with patients and family members. So thank you all so much for coming and participating.
Absolutely.
Thanks. Have a good weekend.
Thank you for
Likewise.
reminding us to bring art back in our days.